Hey, check it out. Your mom's favorite powdered thermogenics back, and now it's in V2. So, big day today. Ghost Burn V2, the third of the 4 V2s coming in 2021, is here. This one is actually probably the least intense changes from the original, but one of my favorite changes actually. Pump and Legend were awesome, and they changed so much in the experience kind of just actually changed almost entirely in my opinion, especially with Legend. Burn V2, only one ingredient has changed, but it's gone from it's a great quality ingredient that already we definitely saw was in there. I'll get into why we know it was in there before. Coming to a branded perspective on this ingredient now, where we know a lot more about the source of the ingredient, we know a lot more about the contents of the ingredient. So today I'm going to talk about the changes in Ghost Burn coming from V1 to V2, but we're also going to cover a little bit of what the product itself is here for, because if I did one ingredient, this would be like a 3-minute video, and I want to actually make it worth your time to be here. Without further ado, let's jump into Ghost Burn V2. I'll give you right off the bat, so if this is all you're interested in finding out about, I'll give you the only ingredient that changed in here, so if that's what you're interested in, you can click off. CaloriBurn GP. Previously, Burn V1 was using grains of Pardise, a generic extract of grains of Pardise. Now, grains of Pardise is a spice that you can pick up. Last time I was down in Texas with Mike, he cooked me a steak and actually grinded some grains of Pardise right onto it. It's a really actually great tasting spice, but it contains some compounds that are super helpful for fat burning. Really only one of those compounds is usually standardized for, 6-paradol. In the original Burn V1, that was all that was standardized for in there. If you pick up paradoxine or any product with paradoxine, it is only standardized for 6-paradol. And this is why we're so excited about the NNB CaloriBurn. While the label only shows that it is standardized for 6-paradol, because that's really what most people are interested in, it contains all 4 major constituents that are important for the processes that grains of Pardise are being used for. So I'll throw up some testing below here on CaloriBurn GP that shows the 4 peaks for 6-gingerol, 6-paradol, 6-shogal, and 6-gingerdione. CaloriBurn still uses 6-paradol as its primary compound. However, these 3 other are as well present. So what I said before about knowing that obviously grains of Pardise was in the original one, Ghost tests their products. We know they trust them, but what you'll notice when you open up the bottle, this here is the fresh one. I'll open it up for you guys to get it. If you watch the original video of me and Mike talking about it, it's got a spice to it. You can smell it. It's like
oh shit.
It like gets up in your sinuses. Now, one of the cool things is actually, and Dan actually said this to me and I started to realize it's true, NNB's CaloriBurn for some reason is less, I don't know, not pungent, but it's less aggressive. When you get like 6-paradol in your nose and you get like the original grains of Pardise, it's a lot more aggressive of a smell. It really beats up the inside of your nose. This CaloriBurn doesn't really do that as much. So what does CaloriBurn do? Well, grains of Pardise in general is meant to help with fat burning, but it has a few other benefits as well. The gingerol, the paradol, and the shogal all help with lowering blood glucose as well as lowering inflammation markers in the body. Both of those things are going to be really helpful for fat loss, weight loss, of course. But we also know there's one really big thing here that's very helpful: starting brown adipose tissue. So there's 2 types of fat. There's white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. White adipose tissue is very much a storage technique. Our body stores calories there as fat, and it's hard to get rid of. Brown adipose tissue, however, has been shown in studies as the body has more brown adipose tissue to result in a higher metabolism, a higher caloric expenditure. In simple terms, brown adipose tissue is more willing to give itself up for energy than white adipose tissue. Lucky for us, grains of Pardise, specifically NNB in this case using all 4 constituents, help convert white adipose tissue to brown adipose tissue, which is super helpful for your fat loss journey. So 2011, a great study showed that usage of grains of Pardise with these 4 compounds stimulated nerve activity within brown adipose tissue. This lasted for as long as 3 hours. So if you're taking this pre-cardio, this is going to be awesome. It's going to cover that period that you're training and then also your recovery period later on. But something else interesting happened. The temperature of that tissue raised during that period of time. So by activating that tissue, by increasing body temperature, the body was more willing to shed that brown fat off the body. Now in 2013, another study showed that usage of grains of Pardise increased metabolism by at least 5% within 2 hours. 5% is not chump change when it comes to metabolism numbers. We're looking at some other ones like synephrine, which is popularly found within bitter orange extract in here, can increase the body's metabolism by around 7%. So there's got a compounding effect with a lot of these different ingredients in here. So in 2014, the final study I'm going to talk about is one that was really kind of the nail in the coffin for Grains of Paradise being absolutely useful. They found that Grains of Paradise significantly increased metabolism. We're talking about 100 calories more than placebo, and also decreased visceral fat around the organs. Now, it's important to note that they didn't note any changes in subcutaneous fat, which is fat below the skin. However, if we're talking about fat around the organs, that's usually going to be in that stubborn belly area, which most people are disappointed in. And this has to be coupled with a healthy diet and exercise plan, which is going to help with all around fat loss. So why not add an ingredient here that's going to help so much with that important belly area when that's what so many people have issues losing? So on top of that, we've got a lot of great other things in here, which I'll quickly run through. We've got a carnitine blend up top between tartrate and acetyl-L-carnitine. Tartrate is very popular. It's actually really, really helpful for recovery. Acetyl-L-carnitine can pass the blood-brain barrier and activate some nootropic benefits, which is really helpful. If you're in diet mode, it can be difficult to stay focused on tasks. And carnitine is just helpful for that, even though it does have a lot of benefits in terms of mobilizing fat. That's really for mostly carnitine deficient folks or folks that are training really, really hard. So I don't want to sit here and claim that's going to help a lot with fat loss. It's going to help some with fat loss, but I'm really looking for recovery and for focus benefits here during a dieting stage. Choline by tartrate, again, choline source helps with a ton of focus. I really enjoy that pre-cardio because it's going to help me with, like, if I'm trying to do some emails or whatever it is I'm doing during cardio to pass the time. KSM66 happens to help with a ton of different things: cortisol, testosterone production, fat loss, power output. There's a ton of different benefits here. Tyrosine, again, focus, and as well as thyroid benefits. You get 500 milligrams of it here. You're not getting a ton of it in terms of focus benefits, but for the thyroid benefits here, it's definitely good to go. Caffeine anhydrous, 150 in one scoop, 300 in the two scoops. Depends on how much you want to use here. I think these are both great dosages for two different demographics of people. I personally go with the 2 scoop dosage every time. That's just how we roll it here at PricePlow. But 1 scoop of burn can be easy to move in with like a pump from their line, or with a little bit of Legend if you want to add some fat burning to your pre-workout, and you're not adding too much caffeine that way. Cocoa bean, which yields to 20% theobromine. Theobromine is very similar in chemical nature to caffeine, works along the same pathways. It has a great synergistic effect, and studies show that it actually increases the feel of stimulants when alongside caffeine. Neurofactor, one of my most favorite ingredients. Again, this is actually where burn, I've spoken a little bit about the nootropic benefits here. It works really well as a coffee replacement. Neurofactor is one of the only ingredients outside of actual lithium supplemental that increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is super, super beneficial for nootropic benefits. Bitter orange, as I mentioned before, which is a botanical source of a lot of different fat-burning compounds like synephrine, tyramine, N-methyltyramine, hordenine, hygenamine. It has a lot of different benefits, and believe me, this is like one of the most underrated, hardest hitting, hardcore stimulants out there. Bitter orange will definitely give you a kick in the pants alongside the rest of this. Like I said, CaloriBurn is the one that we brought up originally, and bioperin, which is a black pepper extract, which is going to add to the spiciness of this. If you've had the spicy pineapple margarita, you've tasted the CaloriBurn and the black pepper there, definitely. Can help with the absorption of everything here. They actually didn't elect to add any estrogen here, which is actually fine because I don't think there's really much in here that estrogen would help out with outside of maybe the carnitine, the choline, and the tyrosine. There's not a lot of benefits added in here. They added it to almost everything else in the line recently. So I hope that's a really helpful breakdown on the new V2. If you want, you can read into our blog. We've got a ton of different citations in there for all the different studies that you can read about. Go check out CaloriBurn on the blog as well, or our deep dive video on CaloriBurn. I know I spent a little bit of time on it there, but we do go way deeper into it if you're interested in that kind of stuff. We're super excited about the new line of Ghost Burn V2, the new flavor passion fruit. I haven't gotten to try it out yet, but stay tuned on our Instagram. I'll definitely be posting it to our story because I'm currently in a recomp phase and loving Ghost Burn V2 for my cardio. In any case, I really appreciate making this far in the video. I do have to say I got these for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with Ghost, but that doesn't change the fact that they're doing incredible things for the industry, and these new V2 line revisions are just absolutely kicking it. So as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.